All right, all right, all right. That's not the right part. There we go. I have to clean my grinder. That motherfucker trying to get stuck. I ain't got time for that. Sound like a good video topic though. Anyways, welcome back, Team DWC. It's your boy TWP Popcorn. Y'all already know what time it is. 6 p.m. on a Wednesday. If not, it'll be 10 a.m. Saturday and Sunday, aka another day in paradise. And y'all already know if it ain't paradise where y'all at, we'll have to get you a consultation so we can fix that, right? Probably. You see what I'm saying? Now, whether it's a free consultation or you invest in yourself, that depends on you. But, I'll tell you what you want to hear for free all damn day. But, you'll listen if you're spending some money on it. So, you know how that goes, right? If you don't take yourself seriously, nobody else will take you seriously. So, hell, we always like to put that part of the game out there. But, like I tell you, at the same time, you do things that are popular and other people would like and enjoy doing some things with you. What up, Blood Dragon? Good to see you. Y'all know to go check out the big homie gaming over there on his channel daily. I appreciate that. Y'all know if it ain't the game you want to see, make sure you drop a little coffee information, inspiration, or whatever it is. Drop him a super chat. Let him know what game you do like to play. Hell, he might play it with you one day. You know how we do. But anyways, let's see. Let me get this flipped around. Camera, flip it that way. Sure. I gotta get it up to where the screen's all the way in there because y'all don't want to just see the bottom of the barrel, do you? Nah, y'all want the full good director's vision and cut on this, just like how I get it, right? Probably not because y'all don't want what I get. I get all the shit and the success, but it's a two-way street. Appreciate the homie stopping through though. Beat after beat, what's good? How you doing? Y'all know he recently hit 85,000 views. Appreciate that part of the game because he letting you know it works if you work it, right? It's always good to see you going from 0 views to hundreds and thousands of views. Make you feel like you're actually doing something. It's a TRX. Yeah, that would be fun though. Help me. I've fallen and I can't get up.
What is going on, everyone? Happy end of the week and welcome into our latest TDR weekly recap presented by FlowHub as usual. I'm your host, Shad Dales. Hope everyone had a great week. As we look back, it was a quieter week on the federal reform front as the cannabis industry continues to wait for clarity out of Washington on next steps for rescheduling. But outside of that, we did see some meaningful company-specific developments, including updated financials from Curaleaf, which looked impressive, and new expansion plans from Glasshouse Brands as we head further into 2026. So with that, let's get started in our TDR weekly recap presented by FlowHub. Okay, we'll begin with news first. Out of Washington, here's some interesting news. The White House is making it clear that President Trump's first year back in office is something the administration wants framed as productive. Yeah, it's been controversial as well. This week, however, it published a post titled 365 Wins in 365 Days, outlining what is described as one of the accomplishments for every day in office so far. And included on that list is cannabis rescheduling. So under the heading Make America Healthy Again, the administration points to President President Trump's executive order directing the Department of Justice to complete the process of reclassifying marijuana from Schedule 1 to now Schedule 3. The White House frames the move as one that will accelerate medical research and expand patient access. So always good to see some coverage from there. So really from a policy standpoint, as we know the executive order, it is significant. It formally directs the DOJ to finish a process that began during the Biden administration but stalled within the regulatory system. It also represents a notable political shift, with the Republican White House publicly acknowledging that marijuana does not belong in the legal category as heroin. Thank you. That said, as we know right now today, the executive order itself does not complete rescheduling, but it's definitely a step in the right direction. But actual authority rests with the DOJ, working in coordination with the HHS. And until a final rule is published in the Federal Register and survives any legal or procedural challenges, marijuana to this day is still classified as Schedule 1 under federal law. However, it is worth noting that sources do indicate that President Trump has urged Attorney General Pam Bondi to finalize the rule by the end of January, and industry insiders suggest publication could come soon. We hope, everyone. So once finalized, the implications would be meaningful, including the end of the 280E tax penalties, expanding research pathways, and a regulatory framework more aligned with modern medical science here today, and it needs to be done. But until that final step occurs, rescheduling definitely remains incomplete. Markets have responded, companies are planning ahead, and lobbying activity has intensified, but institutional capital and federal agencies that continue to treat cannabis as legally unresolved. That is the truth. The administration, they definitely have started the clock. The next move, it belongs to you, Pam Bondi, and the DOJ. So let's hope we get something done soon. All right, let's now move south to Florida, where their adult use cannabis initiative is back, but the path to the 26th ballot is proving to be very challenging. Smart and Save Florida, the TrueLeaf-backed campaign, is once again attempting to qualify a constitutional amendment after falling short in 2024. Last cycle, Amendment 3 received support in the mid 50% range, strong by most standards, but as we know, below Florida's 60% supermajority requirement. Recent polling right now is reported by Florida Politics, including a survey from the Florida Chamber of Commerce. It shows support for adult use legalization roughly at 51%, so that's short. So while that would be a majority in most elections, still remains well short of the threshold required for constitutional amendments in Florida. Man, will Florida eventually have its day in its sun. Also, the Chamber, which opposes legalization, has pointed to the scale of spending behind the effort, more than $200 million across 2 cycles, largely funded by TrueLeaf. They argue that the increased spending has not translated into increased support. So right now, Smart and Save Florida is also facing procedural pressure. The campaign must submit approximately 880,000 verified signatures by February 1st. As of right now, the count is roughly around 675,000 verified signatures, so keep that date in mind. These are complicating matters, as you can see right now. So Florida's Office of Election Crimes and Security has notified several counties that it intends to audit certain petitions to confirm compliance with state law. So while audits are not unusual, local election officials have described the timing as disruptive, placing county offices in the middle of broader political dispute. State officials, meanwhile, have also pursued litigation at the Florida Supreme Court, reportedly raising arguments related to public nuanced concerns, including cannabis odor. This has been the center of conversation about this smell. Meanwhile, also important to note, too, that TrueLeaf definitely...
Yeah, we get it. You guys don't want to smell weed everywhere, but that's what the important thing about the lounges situation is. If the lounge is in a public area, then you're saying we can't even go to a lounge and smoke because now the lounge is expelling smell somewhere. So, I mean, hell, even sitting at home, your neighbors smoke weed. The garage door that's cracked in your neighborhood, you know what they're doing in their garage. That's why they got the door cracked. So the smell ain't just loudly robust everywhere, but it's slowly creeping out the door, right? I mean, come on now. We don't want to smell weed everywhere we go. Last I checked, a natural smell is going to be a natural occurring smell. So if something burning, you're going to smell anywhere, right? My neighbor starts a fire. Oh, he's running logs over there because I can smell it. You see what I'm saying? And that's not even weed. That's just firewood type shit. Oh, I don't like the smell of firewood burning. It reminds me of oppression. Shut your dumb ass up. The only thing you was being oppressed by the smell was the fact that it's cold as fuck and people need to stay hot. Just like, hey, you might not like the smell of weed, but there's other people that do. So I mean, make sure you keep your windows shut, your air conditioner filtered, and use some incense going, right? That way you don't even notice. It's like living next to a sewage treatment facility. You don't like the smell of sewage? Make sure you got something in your house that you do like the smell of, because then that'll at least help you out, right?
Continues to pursue expansion even outside of Florida, including potential opportunities in Texas, while CEO Kim Rivers has been credited with influencing federal discussions around rescheduling. So Florida's adult use push remains a high-stakes test case where polling, legal strategy, and ballot mechanics are all in play. High stakes in Florida. Big risk, big reward. All right, let's now move to the business side. And on the tape this week, Curaleaf Holdings reported preliminary unaudited results for the fourth quarter of 2025, excluding discontinued operations. Q4 net revenue is expected to be at least $330 million, representing approximately 4% sequential growth from Q3 and exceeding prior guidance. Year over year, revenue increased roughly 1%. Adjusted gross margin for the quarter is expected to be approximately 48.5%, which is consistent with prior year, while full year 2025 adjusted gross margin is expected to be around 50%. In addition to that, the company also announced two strategic exits, the discontinuation of its hemp division and a full exit from Missouri. So the hemp decision, it definitely follows federal legislation and reduced allowable THC thresholds, materially impacting commercial viability, which makes sense. Missouri was exited due to the company's subscale footprint. Right now, Curaleaf expects to report full results in the early part of March. On top of this news, the company also expanded in Maine, opening a new adult use dispensary in Bangor adjacent to its existing medical location. With the opening, Curaleaf now operates 5 stores in Maine and 161 nationwide. So big footprint for Curaleaf. Let's now move over to Glasshouse Brands, who announced it's accelerating its 2026 expansion plans following improved operating performance and the completion of key development milestones. So looking back at the end of 2025, the company returned its greenhouse portfolio to full production and completed the first phase of Greenhouse 2 at its Southern California farm campus. Initial production is expected to contribute to results in Q1 2026, with full planting now targeted for Q2. So once complete, Greenhouse 2 is expected to add, get this, approximately 300,000 pounds of annual biomass capacity. The company is also retrofitting Greenhouse 4 to support international CBD and hemp products. Keep your eye on that, everyone. So management right now, they cited potential regulatory changes tied to rescheduling as a driver of opportunity, including possible export pathways and reimbursable CBD markets. Well, again, keep your eye on Howard Kessler, Commonwealth Project, and Glasshouse Brands. And finally, some quick hits here to close this week. Aurora Cannabis, they were granted EU community plant variety rights for 2 proprietary cultivars, strengthening its intellectual property protection across Europe. As well, Jushi Holdings, they opened up a new Beyond Hello dispensary in northern Cincinnati. So with that, they expanded its Ohio footprint to now 7 locations. So don't sleep on Jushi Holdings, especially if you look at Germany and a possible adult use coming in PA. We've said that many times over the last couple of weeks. All right, everyone, that's it for this week's weekly recap presented by FlowHub. What was the highlight for you this week? Keep those comments below. Nice to see cannabis highlighted as one of the 365 wins for the Trump administration in their first year back in their second term. As well, we saw some interesting news about Curaleaf as they look to expand, plus earnings coming up in early part of March. What do you think of some of those numbers they floated around already? And how much do you follow this company? You should, because MSOS, biggest position in the ETF, is Curaleaf. So as that ETF goes, so does Curaleaf. Let's get those comments coming in. So I'd love to get your feedback. As usual, make sure you stay connected with us. So scan this QR code and become a daily baked-in newsletter subscriber, which is delivered to your inbox weekdays, Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern Time, giving you all the latest information on the reform and business side of the cannabis industry. One last thing, we want to get to 100,000 subscribers. So if you haven't done so, make sure to subscribe to our channel as we grow this community more and more, as we continue to build on the messaging of the cannabis industry in 2026. All right, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Back here next week. All eyes on Attorney General Pam Bondi. Will she make an announcement and sign something off? We hope so. But again, we got to be patient and keep the conversation going. I'll see you in the next video, everyone. I'm your host, Shad Dales, and thanks again for watching. My little nephew came in the house the other day, me and my brother, we were playing pool. He came in, he said, hey, Daddy, what's the difference between a hypothetical question and a realistic question? Well, you know, my brother, he kind of stupid too, you know. Hypothetical, he said they basically mean the same, but sometimes they be different, you know. He said, for example, go upstairs and ask your mother, will she make love to the mailman for $250,000? My nephew ran upstairs, came back 10 minutes later. He said, Daddy, Mama said she'll fuck the mailman, the milkman, and any other man for $250,000. He said, well, I see. He said, well, son, go downstairs and ask your sister, will she make love to the next door neighbor for $250,000? He ran downstairs, came back 15 minutes later, and said, Father, sister said she'll fuck the next door neighbor, the neighborhood, and the next block for $250,000. My brother looked at me, I looked at him. I said, tell him, man, tell him. He said, let me tell you something. Son, hypothetically speaking, we should have $500,000. He said, but realistically speaking, son, we living with two hoes. YouTube was good with it, man. It's your boy Neo, and I'm back with another video. So we're gonna dive into this one. Is trapping in 2026 dead, man? I'm getting a lot of noise from the community, a lot of DMs, a lot of messages, a lot of emails. Hey Neo, is trapping dead? Is this shit worth it? I'm 18 with a band. What can I do? How can I get started? Or should I even get started? So I'm going to break it all down in this video. But before we hop into this video, man, I need everybody to lock in with my free community, members only. The link is in the description down below, man. It takes 3 seconds. If you want to learn, you need to troubleshoot issues, you want to network with a community within this space, members only is the place. So hope to see you there. But to get into this video, is trapping dead in 2026, bro? So coming from me, my opinion, trapping is dead to an extent. See, the old ways of trapping was you get a bag, you post up at the store, and you try to get custos. It was more so about hustle, bro. It was more so about who can grind on a block the longest. It was really not about business IQ. Even when I was coming up, you know, wholesale was real big. So it was about getting bags and finding OT custos. But now the custos OT, if you in California, the folks down south, the folks in New York, the folks in Michigan, they already got plugs. You competing with the Chinamen in OKC, the Chinamen in fucking Maine, the Michigan white boys, the white boys in Oregon. Like, bro, it's a lot more competition, especially if you're in California, because as we know, California had a monopoly on the game 10 years ago. We had a fucking chokehold and we lost it. I mean, it's just a lot more competition. So really, when you think about it, bro, trapping's not dead. It's just the old ways of trapping, the prehistoric trap methods of sitting at a corner store, of trying to get in contact with somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, and somehow you find an OT plug. Those days are fucking over. The days of paying for a Cali plug shout out, a fucking Big Drew shout out, a rapper promo, those days are over, bro. All of those methods are patched, bro. In my opinion, bro. Like, the plugs, OT already have a plug. Everybody has a fucking plug. It's not that hard to find plugs. I mean, you got Potato, you got Telly, you got Instagram, TikTok. Like, bro, it's easily accessible to find a plug. Like, this shit is not 10 years ago when you actually had to know somebody. You actually had to take your ass out to Cali, take your ass out to Oregon.
Man,
you actually had to rub shoulders with people and network. and get in the right rooms to find a plug. It's not like that no more, bro. There's no barrier to entry if you want to grab a bag and you want to start trapping. So that's why I say, bro, due to competition, due to the barrier of entry being so low, where you got bags that are $300, them same bags that are $300 in 2026, them bags 10 years ago were $1,300, $1,500, $1,800, and folks was not breaking them shits down, bro. You couldn't buy a QP. You couldn't buy a half block. You had to buy the whole fucking bag. So that's what I mean, bro. It's so easy to get your foot in the game that it's been so watered down. So if you really want to make a name for yourself, if you're trying to really make some pape in this space in 2026, you got to think outside the box. You got to do what others are not willing to do. You got to go places where nobody is willing to go. You got to think of things that have not been done, or look at the market and see what's working and add your own sauce to it. You got to get on these platforms. You got to get on social media. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Snap. Like, you gotta find your secret sauce. And it's all digital now, bro. Folks is running up a bag off the internet in this trap shit, bro. You don't have to stand at a store no more. Why would you stand at a store when, if you're at a store or if you're at a gas station, your potential customer reach is local, citywide, not even citywide. Whereas now you got the fucking internet, and through this phone, you're now global. You can create content and you can reach millions and millions of people, bro. So you gotta learn how to work this fucking phone, bro, if you want any chance to be successful in this space, man. So that's why I say, man, the trap is not dead. It's just transformed, bro. So you gotta figure out your lane, your strategy, and your plan. That's why I say, bro, back 10 years ago, if you had hustle, that was good enough. If you had hope, if you had perseverance, if you had consistency, if you had, these basic traits, it was good enough. Now that shit is not good enough, bro. Just having some hustle is not good enough, bro. You got to have actual business IQ. You got to have skills of marketing. You got to have SOPs. You got to have different processes built out. You got to learn customer service. You got to learn logistics. You have to have all these things built out and have a good understanding of all of these facets to be successful in the space. Just being good at one of them is not good enough, bro. Just being good at marketing is not good enough, bro. You also have to have the logistics. You also have to have the customer service. So in order to do that, you need a team, bro. With a one-man army, you're limited on how much money you could run up. If you build together as a team and everybody has a specific role, everybody focuses on a specific skill of what they are good at, and somebody else focuses on the weaknesses, then now you have no flaws because you're cohesively building and growing together, and you're shrinking the room of error because everybody is focusing on one facet of the business. So is trapping dead in 2026? No, the trap is still here. The trap is still alive. The bows is still going. The packs is still being shipped. But you got to figure out how you can run up a bag in this shit because it's transformed. It's different now. That's what I would say, man. And you have to utilize social media to some extent if you want any chance. And you don't got to do what I'm doing. There's a lot of other things that you can do in order to create content. But you have to think global. A small-minded nigga would think, oh, I can just sit on a block and hopefully customers are going to come to me. No, bro, we got to go and get these customers. We got to be fucking proactive, and we got to be consistent with this shit. We got to post every single fucking day. We got to create this content every single day if you want a fucking chance, bro. Because best believe your competition down the street, he's posting every day too. So that goes back to, bro, you have to be willing to go where others are not willing to go if you want any chance, because there's a lot of people just doing this shit just to do it. They're in it for the wrong reasons. But there's a very small percent that are intentional with this shit. They have a purpose, they have a plan, they have a strategy, they have a blueprint, they have mentorship. They've been through the wins, they've been through the losses, And they've been able to adjust with the market. A lot of the old heads, and I don't mean this with no offense, y'all aren't able to adjust. Y'all get mad at niggas like me and say that I'm ruining the game when I'm just progressing the game, because the game is headed digital. The days of being silent, okay, go ahead and be silent and think people are going to come to you. You're not going to make no fucking money. I don't know what else to tell you. If you sit on your ass, you get out what you put in. So if you don't put in nothing in 2026, you're going to get nothing back. And maybe 10, 15 years ago, word of mouth and knowing this person who knows that person and getting referrals, and that might have been good enough. You might have been able to run up a bag. But tell that to them niggas up in Humble that's sitting on thousands of pounds that don't know how to move it. Tell them niggas in downtown LA, DTLA, who's sitting on hundreds of pounds and don't know how to move it. It's because they're not proactive with this shit. It's because they're not reinventing themselves. They're not adjusting with how the game is going, bro. The ones that are successful right now have adjusted and have figured out that you have to understand how to market, and specifically market in a way to a tailored audience that you're trying to reach in order to get custos. And also know that you have to have a level of customer service in this shit, bro, because again, it goes back to everybody got a plug. So if everybody already got plugs, what makes you stand out from everybody else? What differentiates yourself from 99% of all the other trappers or all the other distros or all the other farms? Because if I'm a custo, I have so much variety. I have so many options on where I can get bags from. If you aren't laser focused on who your customer is and who you're trying to target and what type of level of service you're trying to offer to them, you got no fucking chance, bro. You don't got a chance. That's something that a lot of y'all need to think about. You need to think about, what are you doing to market? What are the systems that you're building? Who is the customer that you're trying to target? And how are you going to close? Because, yeah, you can get a lot of leads. You're going to get a lot of people that are interested, but you got to know how to close in 2026, bro. 10 years ago, yeah, you're going to get people that are just willing to send you money, willing to send you cash apps, willing to send you BTC, willing to pull up on you and buy 50 bags, 100 bags. And with the profit margins, if somebody buys 50 bags and you're making 5 points off of each bag, you good, bro. But now the profit margins is $25, $15, $10 on a bag, bro. So you can't just rely on a couple big whales, man, in 2026. So the game has just changed, bro. Everywhere from the profit margins to how the customers are so cheap and stingy and picky, from a lot of people in this shit just for the wrong reasons, the level of competition, the race to the bottom mentality. It's tough, man. And this shit is not for the weak. But for those that's willing to battle it out in the dogfight, man, and you got a certain type of mentality where you're not going to be stopped, bro, you'll have a chance, man. If you can adjust and you can continue to reinvent yourself and study the market and have business IQ, you got a chance, man. So that's what I want to tell y'all, man. Trapping's not dead in 2026. It's just reinvented. And you got to adjust if you want to survive in this marketplace. And if you don't, this shit is not for you. You're not cut out for this. You're going to get ate up, chewed up, spit out, man. Peace.
Mr. Nice Guy was blowing up, man. We got customers from all over New York.
No, not that.
We even stole a few from Samson.
Oh, what's up, nigga? Come on in, Mike. Come on, Wink, Mike. Thanks, baby. He done know these characters.
Yeah. What can I get you today, Smoke a Lot?
Lovely. Let me get a pound of your Swedish chiba.
Damn. Yes, some told me to bring a lot of weed, man. Yeah. Pound of my Swedish Chiba. Oh, you know better than that.
Smash you the bag, baby.
That's gonna be $9,600, bro.
See what I got here. Come on, man. Hang out for a minute and smoke with me. I got weed, got my bong out. Come on, son.
For you, man. I'll stay for a minute, but then I gotta be going.
I understand.
Man, Smoke a Lot opened up to me like I was Barbara Walters. It was ridiculous. He told me about his lawyer.
He had sex with my mama. Why?
Spirituality.
God, if you listen, hell,
His bad back.
doctor said I need a backiotomy.
His love life.
I'm in for this, man. Get away from me, bitch.
I mean, talk about a guy with problems. Tough break.
I can't take it too far.
No wonder he smoked a pound a week.
Somebody run.
So now we had a
Real
famous
nigga boy.
clientele, and
Green Eyes gonna miss you.
guess what else?
Call me next week. About weed. About weed.
Said you got to build up that clientele, my guy.
Not in your plants, overwatering, underwatering, that's pretty common.
It's become a lot easier over the years to water your plants with automation, right? And I know we're going to get into that in this episode, but there's so many people that are still just using hand watering, right?
Pigeons.
So that's so there's so much
to see Kelly. How you
to
doing?
talk about,
Hopefully, it's a
comparing the
beautiful day in
two
paradise.
different
Y'all need
ways
to go
to
check out
auto
Kelly
water.
over at I Bring It Every
Yeah,
Day.
there's a lot we can get into.
And
We
like
haven't
the title
really
of her
gotten
YouTube
super
name says,
deep into
she
it
bring
in
it
the
every
past,
day.
but
So she got something for you.
here we are
Keep
today.
clicking, right?
Yeah, I think when it comes down to it, there's a handful of ways to water your plants. And you've, of course, got automation. That's a loose term. But then you got your traditional hand watering. But there's also things like drain to waste or flood tables that take care of stuff for you. There's your wick systems, like your butt chugging. And then, of course, you have your drip irrigation. That's common as well. But with drip irrigation, there's electric optimized or there's gravity-based. And you and I have been definitely heavier in the gravity-based side of things. And I think, honestly, that's probably a little more complicated for some people getting started. But it's the most affordable overall and like natural to the people who want to keep the organic method or more hands-on approach, you know? Which do you think is the easiest for somebody who's starting out and they want to really make sure they don't over or underwater? To just freestyle hand watering and weigh the pot? Or to get right into like precision with the automated watering?
Personally, I feel like a big mistake that people make is to jump into automation before understanding the process. And I think that's very easy today for people to get confused with because there is so much automation. Automation is great, but I strongly believe that you should understand the fundamentals of the plant, how it adapts, how it reacts, before you move into automation, so you can kind of understand what to look for should anything go wrong, or how to optimize on certain benefits and characteristics. So
It is that time of year, right?
in my opinion, take on
Crazy
automation
weather and
eventually,
all such.
but you got to know what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah, I'm a big believer of the difficult times you go through will make you
It's
stronger,
either
right?
cold
So doing
and
the hand
snowing
watering,
or hot and
and
raining. So
arguably it is, a little bit more difficult than automation. So like go through it, learn your medium. All the mediums are kind of different when we talk about kind of water holding capacity, aeration, all that stuff, right? So things are going to be different from medium to medium. But get that hands-on experience first, then go to automation. I completely agree with you on that one.
Yeah, I think that's the argument of understanding your plant, knowing what overwatering looks like, knowing what underwatering looks like. I mean, even seeing if your plant's fully developed and you've got really established roots, you can really see when it tightens up. And
now, as far as automation goes, I mean, we're Team DWC over here, so it doesn't get more automatic with the water than having it constantly in water. You see what I'm saying? That's the good thing about DWC. The only time you got to worry about your plant not having water is if it drunk all its water. So that's the bad good news on that side, right? Like, as long as there's water in there, it's going to do whatever it wants to do with water. Because then that's what the plant adjusts to. Like, okay, I've got water available. What do I want to do? Do I want to pull up this or do I want to kick back that? Which is why your pH actually swings a little bit more in DWC because it's pulling up and kicking back whatever it wants whenever it wants. So if it didn't want something at a point in time, it wasn't pulling it. So you have an excess of it if you leave your water for too long. Now, it depends on how you mixing and doing your water. The good thing about me is I got an extra bucket, so I can just take the lid of the bucket off, boom, put it on another bucket. There you go. Especially if you change anything, just have some clear water sitting there to, as they say, switch that up.
Especially in a fabric pot, even in plastic, and there's space that wasn't in the pot before. It's like all this soil absorbs, or the media absorbs onto the roots more, and that's like you've almost gone too far at that point. As where when it's oversaturated, it's always darker, consistently darker. Your humidity is going to be higher in your room, even if outdoor relative humidity is not. You'll notice that in that space it's higher, and these are like signs that you kind of pick up over time that are dead giveaways. They're like, okay, I'm either too dry or too wet. But the classic, like, put your finger in the soil or lift the pot, I think does work for a lot of people. But when we have all these different medias, larger plants, more root mass, larger buds on the plant even, it makes it kind of harder to go with these old, like, not wives' tale, but like, just hippie style.
Traditional, unproven, or like traditional.
Yeah. There's something that's a better word for that, but I have cinnamon stick.
And that's why it's so hard to give like instructions on like how to water and stuff like that, because it's like it can vary from medium to medium, and how big is the plant, how much water is already in the medium, which isn't really that measurable to do. So that's why people are lifting it and trying to get some sort of gauge on how much medium is already in the moisture. And so it's impossible for me to look at a picture on the internet and somebody say, when should I water? Is this a good time? You can kind of look at the plant and see like its droopiness, but you have no idea what's in that medium at the time, right? So you can't say, put a half a gallon in there, or hey, put a quarter gallon of water in there at this point. So it's hard to give instructions, and that's why it's so important to get that hands-on experience.
Yeah, I think rule of thumb for me is like a gallon with a 5-gallon pot, maybe a gallon of water, and then I noticed I'm gonna go and check the plant in a couple hours, and I'm gonna feel it at that point. That's kind of like my base point, and sometimes a little less than a gallon on it.
I know. I was gonna say some people would say a gallon's super heavy.
Yeah,
some people would be like, half a gallon they'll put in there. Or some people like to do real light waterings, quarter gallon, and then come back and check on it and do a little bit at a time. Yep.
That's what I was gonna say. Is either you split it in half and you come back and do half and half, or you do a heavier watering and then get an idea of how much that gallon weighs in with your 5 gallons. Then it kind of gives you that basis of like, this is the furthest point. I'm almost not overwatering, but it's like we're as heavy as we get. Anything under that, you'll notice where it's a little lighter, you're okay. When it becomes the point where you can lift it almost like with a finger, it's like, dude, you've gone too far. And a picture can show a droopiness that could be too dry or too wet. That's the tough part. Unless you can get cold or too cold even. Yeah, the roots could be too cold. Unless you get a good angle at that media to see, which even a very rich soil could be very dark still too and look like it's, wet. You're like, oh, no, it's actually dry as hell. You just got, let's say worm castings on top. So it looks really dark. I've had that in the past where I'm giving advice and I'm like, oh shit, I told you it was overwatered. It's way underwater. You didn't tell me that you haven't watered it in like a month, dude. What the hell? It just, the thing of like the experience obviously goes super far, but to have a general starting point is good for a lot of people. Like maybe half gallon per 5 gallon to start with to be safe, and then add more if you need to. But it's like if it's very moist in your environment, you may need a little less. It may take longer for plant transpiration to happen, for it to go through the plant itself. And that's where you'll notice that the rule of thumb for us may be different for you.
Yeah, I was trying to dial in watering, particularly when hand watering is something that can be very difficult to do. You said the environment can play a huge factor in that. I know that I was talking to a grower just a couple weeks ago. He was telling me that his medium simply doesn't dry out fast enough. So he's watering every 5, 6, 7 days in between. And then at that point, I almost wonder if that's having an impact on the plant if you're not getting regular dosages of food and water into that plant as you think it should. If you're only watering once a week, well, there's only about 6 to 8 weeks in veg. So you've got to try to get that entire regimen of nutrients into that plant in just 6 less, because I guess you're not going to feed every time. So that could be 3 to 5 feedings.
Yeah.
So yeah, you might have to want to try to dial that environment in so that your VPD is just a little more accurate, so that you can get it so that you're watering a little more consistently, but you don't want to water every day. Pot size is very important too, because the last thing you want to do is water your plant 2 times a day, every single day. That becomes frustrating, and you don't want to be in the garden if you're doing that. So
That's where automated watering comes in.
Yeah.
You know, if you're very meticulous in how you want to water your plant and how much, there's obviously a little bit more eyeballing with the gravity-based feeding, you know. But however, you can really dial it into small drips, little increments, slowly, or you can kind of go a little heavier. And each genetic obviously is going to react slightly different, but it's the media that's most important in this case. I feel like we've talked about before, you've got some soil that's just going to retain water more, some medias that'll retain water more, versus others, it goes right through it. You know, when you're dealing with cocoa, a lot of times you'll have drain to waste is the thing that people call it, is where they let it run all the way through and then they toss out the remaining nutrient water that kind of comes out of the bottom. But it's because it's easier for that to happen. As where you deal with an organic soil, you never want to see that. The soil is supposed to retain the moisture. You want it to stay relatively moist, and your drybacks are totally different. So it's like the general rule of thumb is like essentially what's your plant size or your pot size, what's the media, what's the RH in your room. There's no just like this many gallons per this many, you know, the pot size. I think that's an issue, that's a logical fallacy in our space. People will see a forum that says, oh, half gallon to 5 gallons. Like 5 gallons of what? What do you have in there? How old is the plant? Because I've had 5 gallon pots, the roots are crazy established and they need way more water. And the water sits on top for a while because the roots are so established. It's like
Hydrophobic.
Yeah.
They're pushing out that water. It's like you water it, just sits on the top. You got to wait like 10 minutes for it to soak its way into the pot.
Like we're watering in Las Vegas, you know, and then you got to come back in and do it again little by little.
Yeah.
And it gets to the point where your watering process is extended and takes a little bit longer. Maybe the amounts aren't different, but your frequency is different. So you've got to have that routine dialed in per grow space and per media. It's not just, you know, here's how you do it, you're good. This FTS clip was brought to you by AC Infinity, leaders in garden innovation. Use discount code TheStash15 at checkout to save some money on your order.
From the Stash Podcast. Everybody in New York was calling to get down with Mr. Nice Guy. We met all kinds of customers, like this guy here. He's what we call an enhancement smoker, because he thinks that marijuana makes every activity that much better.
Casa su casa.
Observe.
You're Scarface, right? Yeah. I love Al Pacino, man. Did you ever see Scent of a Woman?
Yup.
Have you ever seen Scent of a Woman on weed? That's the way to see it, man. It's just wow.
$60, yo.
Cool, man. I got it. Did you ever see the back of a $20 bill, man?
No, I don't know, yo.
Did you ever see the back of a $20 bill on weed? Oh, there's some weird shit in there, man. There's a dude sitting in the bushes, man. Does he have a gun? I don't know, man. I don't know. What? Red team go. Red team go. It's just some weird shit, man.
Man, fucking crazy, yo.
Oh, that's cool. Thanks, man. Hey, yo, wait. Dude, I'm going to check out the stars later. It's really trippy. Especially on weed, man.
You never been here before?
No. I drove by it a couple times. It's a rowdy place. It's on the middle of nowhere. There'll be no cops. And it's open from dusk till dawn. Hey, didn't you say you want to meet in the morning? Here we are.
Well, since you just picked this place out of the hat, my brother is dead. That girl's entire fucking family is dead.
What, were they psychos or?
They look like psychos? Is that what they look like? They were vampires. Psychos do not explode when sunlight hits them. I don't give a fuck how crazy they are.
That's a good tie-in with trapping, right? Yeah.
You too, what's good with it, man? It's your boy Neo, and I'm back with another video, man. So today, in this video, we're gonna get into how to market your cannabis business in 2026. And this goes for black market, legal market, if you got a dispo, if you got a distro, if you got to grow, if you got to farm, if you just trapping, bro, this goes for anybody, because I've heard a lot of shit in the past year or two about how to market, how to get more custos, how to, further your brand, get more eyes on what you're doing, increase your spotlight. And there's a lot of misinformation going on within this space. I'm hearing small-minded niggas talk about, oh yeah, you can do postcards, weed maps, guerrilla marketing, newspaper ads, SEO, all that bullshit. None of that shit is going to work, and you just going to waste a bunch of money doing all that to get mediocre results. Because I've done all that. I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on SEO, weed maps, postcards, flyers, guerrilla. I've done my share of investment into those avenues and saw mediocre results. But I thought it would be best for me to come up on here in 2026 with all the knowledge and expertise that I gained in building my brand, someone who gets millions of views per month on all platforms. I got 80K on Facebook. I got 2 accounts on Instagram, one with 80K, one with over 40K. My TikTok got over 40K. YouTube got over 20K. So I don't want to hear the excuses. You're going to hear a lot of people give a bunch of excuses. They're going to tell you everything that you can't do in the cannabis space when referring to marketing your business. But see, what your goal is as an entrepreneur is to focus on things that you can do and create solutions. You don't bring up problems and issues. We don't get paid to do that. As an entrepreneur, we are paid to solve problems in order to make money. So for all these people that come up on these platforms and tell you, hey, you can't do this, you can't do that, they don't know what they're talking about because they've never done it. So I'm going to lay the blueprint on what you need to do if you got a business in this space, legal or black market, on how to grow it, how to get more customers, how to build more brand awareness or business awareness,
going back
and how to
with
grow
big homie
on these
at Neo.
platforms. Because social media is the wave. No matter what they say, no matter if they say, oh, they're going to take you, it doesn't matter, because social media is the only way to really build a community. And that's what everybody's missing. It's all about building a community, building a fan base where people support you, not the products that you sell. If people only fuck with the products that you sell, once you stop selling those products, or once those products become too expensive or too inconvenient, then they're going to go somewhere else. And that's the problem that people have within this space. So before we hop into this, if you want to join my free community, no money needed, hit the link in the description. Members only. This is a place where we can connect, network, troubleshoot issues, and just learn more about the industry. Nothing needed from your end. All you got to do is join. It takes 5 seconds, man. The link is in the description. So let's hop into this, man. Getting into how to market your cannabis business in 2026. What are the real methods coming from somebody who scaled their brand in this space in less than a year? Because last year at this time, I had no following, but now I'm one of the biggest in the game, bro. If I go to a cannabis event, everybody knows me. And I'm not trying to toot my horn. Everybody's coming up to me. I request for pictures. People want to talk to me. So I'm going to give you my blueprint, because a lot of people will tell you all these other things, SEO, weed maps, flyers, guerrilla marketing, street team. Like, that shit is small-minded, bro. You have to use these platforms, social media. You got to think global. When you're doing all these like little SEO things, these Google business, all that shit is too small to really make a dent. If you want to create some type of impact, if you want to be the talk of the town, the talk of the city, the talk of the state, the talk of the country, you got to get on these apps and you got to create content. And I don't want to hear, oh, they're going to take me down. Who cares? Make another account. Lock in with somebody at Meta. Like, there's always a solution. So if your fear of building your brand on social media and you don't want to do it because you're afraid they're going to take your account down, this business and this space is not for you, because social media is the cheapest and most efficient way to grow your brand and showcase it to the most people across the world. It's global. With a click of a button, you can be shown to millions of people. Nowhere else can you do that for free. You can't do that with any of those other methods that people, SEO, guerrilla marketing, flyers, newspaper, like all that shit costs hella money. If you create 5 to 10 pieces of content every single day revolving around your brand, and it's not hard to think of different ideas. You can do facility tours. You can do day in the lives. You can do customer interviews. You could do interviews with the founder, telling the audience about your story. You have to create content around your brand and around who you are so that people buy into you and want to support you and want to be a part of your tribe or want to be a part of your community. It's all about creating a community, because once you have a community, now you have something that you can control. Now you have 100% of control over the distribution of that community. Because if they follow you on these apps, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, now I can control and dictate my destiny. It's not left in anybody's hands. See, the problem is a lot of y'all really don't want it that bad, because I know when I said post 5 to 10 pieces of content every day, your jaws drop to the ground. You think that that is not attainable. But if you really wanted this shit bad as you wanted to breathe, if you really are trying to create a 7-figure brand within this space, that is what is necessary in order to grow. That is what is necessary to become global, especially if you're starting from nothing. One post a day is not going to cut it, bro. So you got to go places where nobody else is willing to go. And another thing, y'all gotta stop being fucking cheap, because one of the fastest way to grow in this space is to give away free shit, is to do giveaways. That's another hack that I do not see too many people utilizing. People want free shit, and people want to try out your products or services before they become a customer or before they support you. That's just how it is, bro. You got to stand out. You got to give something to get something. A lot of y'all just got your hand out and you're a nobody. Nobody knows you. You have to provide value to the customer for them to want to fuck with you. So again, you got to go where nobody's willing to go. You got to do things that nobody else is willing to do. And you got to give away free shit. You got to give up something to get something. It's not any more complex than that. Everybody wants to have all these different methods, all these secret sauces. You got to do all this unnecessary things. I guarantee you, if you committed for 3 months, 90 days, and you created 5 to 10 pieces of content revolving around your brand on any of these apps, the more apps, the better. And the more pieces of content that you can create per day, the better. You will be 100% in a better position and more widely known and have more customers in 90 days than you will today if you started today. See, when you create content, it's all about becoming a social media virality, a social media attraction. If you're able to create a fan base around your business, like let's say you got a dispensary and you create so much content that when people come to your city, the first thing that they resonate with your city is that, hey, I got to visit this dispensary, you already won. That's what you should be trying to do. It's all about virality. It's all about fanfare. It's all about becoming a attraction that people want to follow and support. Think of it like, that viral barbecue restaurant. I think it's called like Tenderism with the uncle. Anytime people go to that city, I don't even know what city it's in, but whatever city it's in, I guarantee that's a place where people want to stop at that Tenderism place because of all the social media virality that they've been able to create when they pushed out all this content every single day. That's the dynamic that you want to build around your brand. You want to become a social media attraction, whether you got a farm, whether you got a distro, whether you got just a brand, whether you got a certain type of product. It's so easy to create content. All you need is this. All you need is your phone. And all you got to do is be consistent and post every single day. The more that you post, the faster you'll understand and learn what is working, what is not, and how you need to scale upon whatever is working and how you need to tailor off what's not working. And the more pieces of content that you can test within the algorithm, the faster you'll be able to grow your brand or your business and your platform and following. It's extremely simple, but people overcomplicate it. And again, if your only drawback to not doing this is, oh, they're going to take me down, because that's the common narrative. Oh, if you post content, they're going to take, then this space is not for you. And in 2026, these platforms are way more lenient than they've ever been before. This is the best time in the cannabis space to create content because they're extremely lenient now. Like,
yep.
all of these platforms are so much more lenient than they were 5 or 10 years ago when it comes to this space. Get out there, create content, 5 to 10 pieces every single day, interviews, customer feedback, facility tours, day in the lives, talking about your store. It's so many different content styles and different ideas that you can segue into and figure out what works best for you and your brand in order to resonate with your audience and your ideal customer, that if you really committed to this, you will get customers supporting your brand or walking into your dispenser or whatever you need, bro. All this SEO, all this newspaper ad, all these flyers, bro, that shit is junk. That shit is prehistoric ass methods, bro. That shit's not gonna work. You're gonna spend way too much fucking money in the long run when all you need is this phone and some consistency and some creativity. And you really don't need creativity. All you have to do is find other pieces of content out there that has been successful and remix it and put your own sauce onto it. See how you can use that type of content style to relate it to your brand and to your audience and use that blueprint and framework. So you really don't need much creativity because it's already out there. The proven pieces of content that will perform, people have already made it, and you just gotta add your own sauce to it and put it out. So all you need is consistency, bro. That's all you fucking need. And get on one of these social media apps and push out content, and you're going to build a community, you're gonna get customers, and you're going to build more brand awareness. It's that simple. All this goofy ass shit, SEO, newspaper ads, guerrilla marketing, that shit is the way of the past, bro.
Need to get this live.
It's going to take way too long. You're going to spend way too much money. And I've done it all before. And take this coming from somebody who's built a name for themselves in this space in less than 1 year, that gets millions of views every single month on all of these platforms: Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. It's that simple. So that's the sauce. A lot of people think it's going to be one thing that I tell you that, oh, you can just do SEO and you're just going to turn. No, bro. It's the little things. It's about being consistent and sticking to something, sticking to a game plan and really committing. You got to commit. That's why it takes really 30 to 90 days to see some type of results. But once you see the results, bro, it's game over. And in this space, nobody else is doing it. There is not too many other people in this space that is committing to creating engaging social media content to build a community. That's what you need to be doing. creating social media content to build a community, because once you have a community, you own the distribution. You can create your own destiny. You do not have to rely on none of this SEO, none of this weed math. You don't have to rely on nobody. And now you can send out your call of action and get them to buy whatever product or service that you have. It's really that simple. So again, join my free community. The link is in the description. Members only. This is where you learn more about the space, connect with other people within the industry, troubleshoot issues, just engage and network, bro. That's what it's all about, man. Hope to see you on the other side. Links in the bio, members only. And until next time, peace.
Hope you don't mind. We made some tea. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm the bloke you're stealing from. The name's Alistair Rigby, but as far as you're concerned, I'm Willy fucking Wonka, and you're taking the shit in my fucking chocolate factory. Easy, boss. Don't get upset. When I have to go to the dentist, I'm upset. When Liverpool beats Arsenal, I'm upset. But when some little shit decides to take over one of the most profitable territories in the country, I'm beyond fucking upset. I'm very fucking upset. So, from now on, you're under new management. You will work for me, and in return, you'll receive an allowance.
Allowance?
Yes, allowance. As in, I'm allowing you to keep 10%, and I'm allowing you to keep drawing breath on this earth. Now, you either get down or you lay down. What's it gonna be, sunshine?
This wasn't no movie. The smart thing was to say yes, get up, and leave the room. But then I thought to myself, what if this was a movie? Look, fuck you, fuck the plane you flew in on, fuck them shoes, fuck those socks with the bell on it, fuck your gay-ass fairy faggot accent, fuck them cheap-ass cigars, fuck your yuck-mouth teeth, fuck your hairpiece, fuck your chocolate, fuck Guy Ritchie, fuck Prince William, fuck the Queen. This is America. My president is black and my Lambo is blue, nigga. Now get the fuck out of my hotel room. And if I see you in the street, I'm slapping the shit out of you.
I think this one spent so much time at the cinema. Teach this cheeky bastard a lesson.
Nobody fucking move!
Oh, man, this is bad.
What is this? A casting call for the Sopranos reunion? Do me a favour. Tell room service nobody here ordered the extra large whop with a side order of whops.
Whoa!
He and his team are just absolutely, totally outstanding. General, thank you for being here today and agreeing to do this press release with us. We're going to have speakers today. Of course, the General is going to speak as soon as I give a quick overview, and then Brad McVeigh, the statewide prosecutor. And after that will be Vaden Pollard. He's the deputy commissioner for FDLE. And there'll be Rob Mateo, who's a retired detective from the Sheriff's Office. And he's currently the president of the Florida Gang Association.
Y'all know my video sponsor at the time by and make sure I'm working right.
But let me talk about Hernando Thompson. He's 40 years of age. His nickname is T-Murda. Does that tell you anything? He is the head of the sex, money, murder gang for the state of Florida. So
what the hell? Oh, anyways. But let's see. It says it's all CGI, right? We know Triple B's beyond CGI. Y'all didn't see the reviews. If not, go back and run the older playlist. Because, you know, right when we first kicked up, we did start doing a lot of reviews from the big homie. All right. Looks like I caught up with what went on in the chat. I forgot to scroll down. Y'all know how that goes. Let's see. It says leader of Florida sex, money, and murder gang segs after multi-year investigation. This is more trapping.
Had a wiretap. We called it catch and stain. Now, stain is rank. And our goal was to take down the sex, money, murder hierarchy. And that's what we all did together. Statewide prosecutor, FDLE, the sheriff's office worked together, and we did this wiretap. This is the man at the top of the pyramid. Now, this T3,
So that's
as
the
we
big
call
homie,
it,
huh?
wire intercept, allowed us to seize 4,787 communications that talked about criminal conduct. In addition to that, we served 6 search warrants. We seized $1.5 million in drugs. We seized 18 firearms. We seized ballistic armor. We had one event where where the suspects received permission up the chain of command to commit a murder and were after our victim to murder him. The only reason he was not murdered was because the victim got away from them during the middle of the night. And by the way, we found the murder to be victim the next day or a couple of days later and locked him up on some charges we had in order to keep him alive until this investigation could be completed. So we ended up arresting a suspect who was to be the victim of a murder. It was ordered by T Murder's team. If it weren't for the hard work of the statewide prosecutor's office and our awesome attorney general at the time who worked with us, and now our current attorney general, this wouldn't be possible. But, you know, you see the rolling stuff on him. But look, I just want you to get a picture of his criminal record. This is a bad man, and he needs to go to prison for a long time. And I'll stop there because I don't want to get in the way of the attorney general and our team that's going to give you the details of the magnificent work that occurred. General? All right.
Thank you. It's great to be here with America's Sheriff. I got to tell you, I continue to be perplexed when I see ongoing criminal activity in this jurisdiction. You'd think by now people know what they're looking at if they come here. If you want to engage in dangerous, violent, gang-related activity, do not do it in Florida. We're going to take you down. But most importantly, do not do it in Polk County. I mean, are you nuts? So this is a great way to start the year. You have a notorious gang leader here who ran a large-scale operation, 12 other individuals arrested in this case, and he was directing everything from robbery to drive-by shootings to, you know, some of his people were pointing guns at children where they were extorting and making threats and ultimately trying to get their way. We're not going to tolerate that here in Florida. He's looking at 5 lifetime sentences. Our prosecutors in court will be pushing to ensure that he does not have an opportunity to ever be released again.
I don't think he's going back to the streets
for the rest of his life. We want to send a message. If you engage in this type of violence, if you run drugs and guns and violent behavior into communities, you are going to pay the price. We're going to put everybody on notice. If you engage in this type of violent behavior, you are going to pay the price. You are going to be behind bars for the rest of your life. We are going to protect our families at all costs. The affidavit in this case with the charging documents was over 250 pages, over 17 counts included. So, you know, the short of it is this was a bad dude, a violent guy, and we're going to do what needs to be done to protect our community at all costs. So I thank law enforcement. He got away with a lot till he ran into the sheriff's office here. I looked at the press conference the sheriff did a couple years ago. When the arrests were made, he said, I don't want to see this guy breathe another free breath of fresh air again. Well, Sheriff, he's going to have at least one on the bus going from the jail to the prison, but rest assured, he will not be breathing fresh air outside of the Department of Corrections facility. I want to thank the investigators for working on this and the prosecutors. Prosecutors go toe-to-toe with some of the most dangerous people, and ultimately they're often the last faces that these violent offenders see before they go away. That's why I've proposed at the legislature this year that our prosecutors get the special risk retirement benefits. That's early and more retirement. These are not the highest paying jobs in the world. They're tough jobs, but they are the last line of defense between us and dangerous people that want to hurt our families and the way of life that we've built here in the free state of Florida. So we rounded out my first year, 2025. We rounded out with a bang. It was a record year for the office. We participated in over 1,300 child predator arrests. I think a few hundred of those came right here with Sheriff Judd. We secured almost 400 criminal convictions with sentences up to over 1,700 years. So it was a big first year out of the gate, but we're only going to get even tougher on crime. And it's no secret why Florida has record crime lows, over 50-year crime lows, and they continue to get lower because in Florida we've figured it out. We support law enforcement with everything we've got. We give them the tools to be successful, and then when they bring in the bad guys, we bring the heat, we lay down the law, and we put them away for as long as possible. We don't believe in early release, not in this state. So thanks for having me. It's an honor to be here. Support the sheriff's office, and we'll keep doing everything we can to keep this state safe. Thanks.
Right, thank you, General. I want to start off by thanking our law enforcement partners, Sheriff Judd and his team,
Man,
the Department of Corrections, Florida Department of Law Enforcement.
That's part of that video I want to see, so I ain't gonna hold y'all up all day with that one.
From summer's end till the winter comes, till gray days turn to yellow ones. I stay grinding for mine. I try to tell them once, to travel to the moon, you gotta brave the elements. And battle many goons, you gotta cage the elephants. It's elementary, I speak with a certain eloquence. I smoke hella blunts, a habit I've been developed since I was a young boy playing the silver ball. See them stand, feel them fall, Metallica, kill them all. Living like this is my last moment, but a moment could last forever. Snap a picture in that, colon. Give whatever you going, sip in your glass, hold it up. Hit the side on mine, get the tip in the back, go in. So many days we were sitting low. Better get busy living till the day you give it and they get to go where the sinners go. Pulling the cash and spend it slow, better make it fast, but then you know, matter no money, yo, it's all expendable. You'll be alright, yeah.
Back to 6.
Of course, y'all already seen that we was posting to our Buy Me a Coffee. Shout out to our Buy Me a Coffee page. Y'all know to go hit up the Buy Me a Coffee link because, like I said, if I talk about it more, y'all might pay it more attention, right? Anyways, y'all know to go check out the extra section, get you some of those freebies that we have over there available for y'all, because that's one thing about it. Like he said, don't be afraid to get a custo something for free. Therefore, that's why we let you know we have a free section over there in the extras for you. Go pick them all up because, once you get those emails from me, then we can be back and forth in the emails. And then, y'all went from YouTube to email contact to however you contact your boy after that, because, that's where it starts. Get you away from YouTube and then you can get you other products and services. But, it is what it is on there. So, we do what we do over there, right? Right. Just got to let y'all know to go to the Buy Me a Coffee. Shout out to the extras because they're free. Then if you feel like getting a membership, definitely get a membership. And if you want to pick up merch or a consultation, we got those options available for you too. Because like we said, we be posted up over here doing our THIN to the G. Let's see. It says our video we posted on the 24th. It's up to 10 views. That's what's up. We appreciate that. Then our other videos up to 88. So, Yeah, buy me a coffee. It's getting our YouTube views up. Let's see, we got today's post. It just went hot and live. And then we got our post from the 25th. It's up to 7 views. See? Shout out to getting this buy me a coffee and Rumble and YouTube all linked up and back posting together again. Because guess what? Yeah, that's how we'll keep our numbers up. Like he said, you got to do what everybody else ain't doing, and y'all see that I show you my work along the way because that's what we've been doing out here. You know what I mean? Hey, I ain't gonna tell you to do nothing that we ain't gonna do because guess what? We trying to see you win too. As long as you put in that work, it's guaranteed gonna be a win too, right? Yeah, somebody should tell them. I'll keep telling you on Wednesdays at 6, Saturday and Sunday at 10 a.m. You know, check back in with your boy, TWP, Team DWC. We'll keep some plenties wet.